Hey, how are you? Yeah, I just stole that from Donnie. Anyways, what's up, guys? So, Vietnamese tourism considers trial reopening to international travelers. So yeah, we're going to do an update on tourism travel. Before we get into the video, I would greatly appreciate it if you smash the like button for Reporter Bear and myself. It helps the algorithm for the channel. It helps me. It's the one thing you can really do to, help if you enjoy watching my videos. As many likes as we can get, and then YouTube is more likely to put us on the front page of suggestions. So yeah, if you guys could do that, I would appreciate it. Reporter Bear would appreciate it. We would all appreciate it. So I read the article 3 times. And from what I can surmise is they want to circumvent the 14-day quarantine. They want you to have a negative test before you board the plane, and then a negative test when you get here. And of course, you have to have a vaccine passport. I think the one thing they're missing is you should have the vaccine for at least a month before coming here. I think. I mean, I don't. Like I said before, I'm not a doctor, but it just sounds safer to me. And I imagine that this will get modified to like a 1 or 2 day quarantine, so they can test you negative a few more times just to be careful. Time will tell. And it, like I've talked about before, it sounds like it's not going to be to like a regular form of travel here. It sounds like they're going to take Phu Quoc Island and pretty much make that the only destination at first for the trial run. And yeah, they think they can control it there better if there is some kind of problem. It's secluded. But this could be a segue for you to go to Phu Quoc for 14 days. Have a nice little Phu Quoc. I mean, 14 days is a long time for being at Phu Quoc. I find Phu Quoc not to be that great. There's too much garbage. The roads are very poor quality. The riding a scooter is not comfortable. The headwind is insane on you, and it's all too spread out. It's like 60 kilometers. I mean, it's always 10 kilometers to go somewhere. It's just not there yet. Maybe in 10 years or so. I don't know. I was very unimpressed with Phu Quoc. I give it a 5. I mean, I'm in absolutely no hurry to go back there. The only thing that was really great there was the hotel was really nice. So like potentially I could see that being okay. Just, staying at the dope hotel, maybe go to the water park, do some exploring. But I think that's the road plan that they're going to come out with. I think they're going to say, hey, you can go to Phu Quoc. And I think if you're there for what's going to happen if you're there for 14 days, you test negative again, my assumption would be then you can travel on to the rest of Vietnam. I don't know how long. They're not talking about how long they're going to issue visas for. They're leaving out an incredible amount of information, and it's really the people that own these tourist companies that are pushing for it, like Sun Group, things like this. So it's not really the government. That the government's only mentioned it once, that they're considering it, and it's got to be safe and it's got to be right. So it's really more the tourism companies are lobbying for this to happen. And they've been devastated, I understand, let me read you this statistic here. What is it? And then I'm going to give you a statistic on. So 25,000 tour guides leaving the sector, and like countless hotels. Like Nha Trang has had a mad hotel sell-off in the past month or two, and like 50 plus hotels have been sold off. We may or may not be seeing Nha Trang on the channel soon. I can neither confirm that information. So, but yeah, pretty crazy way to look at it. They definitely don't want you to have to do the 14-day quarantine in this trial run. They're understanding that no one's going to want to do that. And then they're going to look for countries that don't make them quarantine when they go back home to their country for 14 days, because no one's going to want to do that either. So we're just going to have to see how this plays out. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. I wouldn't get your hopes up, but you never know. Vietnam is a fickle beast. She can change her mind at any time. So, one day you could just wake up and in the news, tourism bubble now open in July. So, despite only adding up to 18 million visits in Vietnam in 2019, compared to 85 million domestic visitors in the same year, the international tourist generated 56% of revenue for the Vietnamese tourism there. So as you can see, and why Vietnam hasn't been decimated from tourism domestic tourism is very big here. Most Vietnamese don't have the money to quite leave the country, but they definitely have enough money to explore all inside the country. So that's why we did pretty well with the tourism, not as bad as it should have been. So yeah, if a visitor turns in 2 negative tests, one of them conducted before boarding the plane, that person should be allowed in the country without having to spend 14 days in quarantine. While Vietnam is formulating a standardized protocol for reopening, we need communication campaigns so that foreign tourists don't forget us. Nguyen said, also pointing to Taiwan as a prospective market since the island did exceptionally well in fending off COVID-19. Personally, I would love to see Taiwan be the first thing to bubble, especially if they let me go to Taiwan. I'll get the stab, and I would love to go to Taiwan and shoot some content there. That would be awesome. I'm not, getting my hopes up a great deal about this stuff. I'm pretty optimistic, but, I don't see traveling for me until next year at some point. I don't see traveling for a lot of us till next year. Wherever your country is, if you're itching to travel, I would plan domestic traveling. Like I'm going to, in the next year or until the end of the year, we're going to thoroughly explore Vietnam. I mean, all over. We're going to go to every major city. We're going to go to small cities. We're going to go rural areas. We are going to go outbacking in the bush. We are going to see a lot of fresh content. I'm squaring in on all my new setup for portability and travel, and that'll be done in a week or two, and then lots of traveling will begin. So I'm very excited about that. Let's see if there's anything I missed out for you guys here. If we open with they are still subject. We already read that. They also have, Vietjet has recently acquired a 7-star rating, the highest mark for COVID-19 safety compliance, awarded by the world's famous airline safety and product rating website, Airline Rating. So that's also a really, really good thing. Yeah, so Phu Quoc Island off southern Quang Gang province with low population concentration, adequate isolation from the mainland, sufficient infrastructure, hotel, and a service quality, and an established reputation might tick all the boxes, Sun proposed. I can see what they're doing. I understand. Like I said, I'm not a fan of Phu Quoc. You guys might be. I understand if you do like it. Sure, there's some charm there. For me, I just didn't like it that much. It was, like I said, too spread out. The road quality's terrible. Now, if you rented a car every day and had a driver drive you around, that could potentially take care of the driving issue. I mean, I had strong headwinds. 40, 50 mile per hour, like feels like you're getting blown off the bike half the time when you're driving a scooter around. I just didn't like that everything was spread out. Wasn't my fancy. Let's just put it that way. Let's see. Considering the current success that Vietnam has achieved against the spread of COVID-19, it is essential that the locations for the proposed reopening be isolated places with low population density to ensure safety for tourists as well as Vietnamese citizens. So I think we covered all the information there. This article came out a few days ago. I've been sitting on it and seeing if anybody else reported anything. or anybody else was in talks of this, and this seems all we're going to get for now. As ever, as soon as it's updated with more information, I will make a video for you. I know a lot of you guys are trying to come and travel here, so I'll be on it for you. Don't worry. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Peace out.